Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on the channel. Now in this video we'll be looking at how to become a funded trader. Now essentially I've broken it down into 9 steps of what I believe is the best route to become a profitable trader. Now if you enjoy this content, please could you like and subscribe, and let's get into the video. So starting with step 1, this is finding a strategy. So you're going to want to join a community or a course and begin watching / taking notes on the content. Now there is many different courses and communities out there. Some are going to be good, some are going to be not so good. Now the best way to find a good community is by either word of mouth, where you've been suggested that community from a friend or a family member, or looking at their reviews, and then lastly looking at their track record, maybe on their Instagram or their website. Now you're not always going to find your perfect strategy to start off with. Maybe there's multiple communities that you end up joining. Maybe you end up joining 2, 3, sometimes maybe even 4. Now this is quite likely to happen, as to find a strategy that suits you can be quite hard to begin with. However, you don't want to get into a habit of community hopping. So this would be just joining community after community, and then once you join a community and after a month or so, a couple of weeks, you say, you don't like it, the results aren't there. This isn't the process. To know a strategy is working for you, you need to go through months of testing, months of back testing, end of days, live testing. So I've kind of got into some of the other steps there, but essentially you don't want to be joining community after community. Yes, the first course you join most likely isn't going to suit you, but you just need to be wary of that. So when you've joined that course, you need to watch the content and begin taking notes. Now the more in depth your notes are, the more it would help you in the future. That takes us on to step 2, which is practice the concepts. So apply the course concepts onto the charts when you have a good enough understanding. Now your understanding doesn't have to be great, you just need to have some sort of inkling of what you've actually got to do. So for example, say you're in a supply and demand course, so that means you can begin to practice identifying supply and demand zones on the charts. Maybe also they use breaker structures, so you can begin marking out breaker structures, your swing structure, your market direction, them sorts of things on the charts. Until you've done that with all of the concepts, then you will have some sort of understanding of what the actual strategy is. That takes us on to step 3, which is start trading. So you can begin paper trading, demo trading, but either or which you do, you need to be journaling the outcome. Now I would suggest doing paper trading first. So this is essentially marking up entries on TradingView or whatever platform you use. You're essentially just marking up the entry rather than actually taking the trade on a demo account. I would do paper trading for the first couple of weeks, maybe even a month or so, before you go into demo account. However, you need to make sure you are journaling the outcome. The outcome of the trades doesn't matter, it's all about the learning. I'd also be doing end of day, so EODs, to see what the strategy's potential results are. So every day at the end of your session or before you go to bed, just go through the charts on the pairs that you're trading and look at the potential trades from your strategy would yield. And then lastly, backtest past price action and gather the results and data. So here I would suggest just using TradingView at this moment in time. Now there is other backtesting software out there, but you're so early in your journey, I wouldn't suggest using any of the other software. Now something I suggest you do is what I did was at the end of every evening, before I did my end of day, I would actually backtest the whole day's price action and see if I could see the trades myself, especially if I wasn't actually live trading that day, as sometimes being on the charts every day when you're early in your journey isn't easy. So I would backtest the whole day on the pairs I was trading, and then afterwards I would then do an end of day, and then I can compare the results. That then brings us on to step 4, which is building a trade plan. So with the data you've gathered from step 3, you want to try and build a trade plan around that complements the results. So any patterns that you are consistently seeing that are happening in your live trading, your end of days or your backtesting, you want to then try and build a plan that would suit these. Now your initial trading plan doesn't have to be too in-depth, it just needs to be some sort of plan where you know when you're heading into the markets you have an idea what you're looking for. It's not going to be an end plan, it's just a beginning plan, so you know you have some sort of direction in your trading. That takes us on to step 5. So trade the plan you've made in step 4 and trade it onto a live account. So I would suggest a small live account, so £50, £100, dollars, whatever you can afford that isn't going to break you financially. just so there is some sort of actual money that you're trading. I suggest as the best way to go about it, as if you put £100 in an account, you're then going to actually have to deal with the actual emotions of trading a live account that is your money. Of course, you don't want to lose that money. This will then provide you with the most realistic results rather than trading a demo account. You can still trade a demo account in this section, but trading a small live account would be the better route. And then moving on to step 6, which is refine your edge. So you want to analyze your live trading results that you have journaled, make changes to your plan that would improve your edge according to the data gathered. So all the trades you've taken in step 5 on your live account or potentially your demo account, you want to be analyzing the results that you've journaled. So you want to be journaling every trade, whether it's a win, loss, break even. If it fit your plan, if it didn't fit your plan, you want to be journaling these trades. And then similar to how you built a trading plan in step 4 by analyzing your step 3 results, you want to do the same again here. And then at this point, once you've refined your edge, you want to then essentially go back to trading live again. So you're kind of taking a step back here. So you've refined your original plan, which was built in step 4. You then traded it live, and you've now then refined the edge. You then want to go back to trading live your small live account or your demo account, and seeing how that plays out in the live markets. If it's profitable, you can move on to step 7. Step 7 is take demo free trials. Like I said, if your edge / plan has been profitable for the last 2 to 3 months, start taking challenge free trials to test yourself to see if you can pass a challenge. So this step will help to see if your edge is good enough to pass a challenge, and also to see if your psychology is good enough to pass a challenge or a free trial, which is essentially the same as a challenge but it's just a free version. So if you are unable to pass challenges, you then want to go back to the drawing board. You're then going to want to potentially look at refining your edge, or maybe it was a psychology issue. Now for me, what really improved my psychology was when I really doubled down on data. So I had such extensive data that I had gathered that a lot of my previous psychology issues from my journey had pretty much disappeared, essentially, because I knew that, say I went on a losing run, maybe I lost 3 in a row. Now due to my data, I know that taking my 4th loss in a row had never actually happened in my back testing or my previous live testing, that when I take the next trade that I had no hesitation. And then I knew maybe if I'd taken 3 losses in a row, that if my strike rate is 60%, I know that a winning run is going to come soon. Then moving on to step 8. So take a challenge. So once you have passed at least 3+ trials in a row, I would then suggest you take a real challenge. Now if you wasn't able to pass that many challenges in a row, I would then suggest you go back a step, analyze your results from your step 7, and then make adjustments to your plan, and then start trading these demo free trials again. However, if you pass multiple free trials in a row, then take the real thing. Now I would suggest you start on a small account, maybe the 5,000, 10,000 US dollar accounts, something like that. Definitely no more than 25k, as essentially you've only really traded a £100 account, for example, to then go and take a 200k, 100k, 500k challenge, the bigger challenges essentially, to then go from £100 to then thousands of pounds is a big step as a trader. So once you start seeing actual money on your MT4 or your MT5, it can become quite daunting. That takes us on to step 9. So scaling. If passing your challenge, trade a live account and look to scale your funding. So if you haven't passed, you then want to take it back a few steps. You want to look to analyze your results, maybe refine your edge, and then again start taking these demo trials, and then when you feel confident again, start taking another challenge. But if you've passed that challenge and you're now on a live account, you want to then trade the live account, and you want to look to start scaling your funding. Now with your first account and your first payout, what I suggest you do is just make a couple of percent just to get your challenge fee back and then receive a payout. Now maybe you want to wait another 1 or 2 payouts before you start scaling to these higher challenge accounts. So say you did a 10k account, get a couple of payouts, then move on to a 50k account. If you pass that, get a few payouts, then move on to 100k, and so on. Now one thing I will add is, most likely when you've got your first live account after passing a funding the challenge, you are most likely going to blow it. I think the percentage of somebody getting a payout from a live account, well, from the overall process of getting from a challenge to a live account, I think it's like 1 to 3% of getting a payout. So a lot of people will pass their challenges, pass phase 1, pass phase 2, maybe they fluke phase 1, maybe they traded phase 2 well. But when they get their live account, they end up blowing it within the first few days. If this does occur, you want to then, again, move back a few steps and look at why you failed. At times in your journey, you're going to need to take a step back. So maybe at some point, if you're hitting step 8, you need to come back to step 4. There's always going to be setbacks in your journey. It's how you overcome them and move forward is the key.